Alright, welcome back to another day of transport here. We've got another train video coming. I'm up here in the north of Thailand right now in Chiang Mai, and I'm heading back down towards Bangkok. On the way here from Bangkok, I took the cheapest option, fan-only bench, just the cheapest transport option to get up here. But this time I decided to splurge a little bit and paid for the option that turns into a bed. So this is my seat right here, and I believe later this evening they will come and convert it to a bed. Yeah, I think the seat pulls out, turns into a bed. I believe this seat 39 right here, did not get booked, so I'm crossing my fingers and hopefully that seat is available, because that would be lovely to have like the whole area to myself before it converts to a bed. But it should be filling up here shortly because a majority of these seats were definitely booked. But we'll see how many people are on here. It's about 4:45 right now. The train leaves at 5 p.m. and it arrives in Bangkok at 5:45 a.m. So got about a 12-13 hour journey on here. Hopefully it will be decently comfortable, get a bit of sleep. I've got a window here, so while we still have some daylight before sunset, I'll be able to enjoy some views along the way. Getting here to the station, man, it was a nightmare. It was just downpouring in Chiang Mai today. The streets were flooded, streets were closed. I'll throw in some clips from earlier just so you can see what I'm talking about. This is what it's like trying to go get some lunch here after a big rainfall here in the north of Thailand. So when it came to getting a ride here to the station, it was a nightmare. Tried to order a car because it was raining and just no luck. There were no cars available because the roads were closed and it was just a mess. Eventually got a bike to come pick me up, but even that, it took a really long time to get a bike to pick me up. I was almost gonna have to ask the guy at my hotel to give me a ride there because, well, a ride here because it was a mess. But we made it. We're here on the train. Hopefully things go smooth from here on out. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll check in later. We'll be leaving here in about 15 minutes. This ticket cost 833 baht, which is basically $26 US, so maybe just under 26 bucks. The cheaper cabin that is a fan only, this one has air conditioning, that one doesn't, and where you just have the bench seats, that one is 310 baht, I believe. So yeah, we'll see if it's worth the difference. I took the cheap one on the way up here, so we're trying this one out on the way back. The thing I'm looking forward to most in this cabin is the air conditioning. It's honestly not even the temperature that's the big problem. Like coming up here, it wasn't that it was just too hot, it's that it was too humid, because with the fans, it's just too dang humid, especially with rainy season. There's just so much moisture in the air, and it's just, you know, like 90% humidity, and I don't enjoy that. So, you know, giving ourselves a little bit of luxury here. Gonna have a bed tonight, even though the arrival is gonna be really early, 5:45 in the morning. Hopefully I can get some solid sleep before then, and, you know, get to Bangkok feeling decently rested. And yeah, so yeah, that's kind of just rambling here, waiting for the bus to depart, or not bus, but the train to depart. There's been a couple vendors coming on. I grabbed myself a couple little snacks at 7-Eleven. Not much, just some chips, water, and yeah, that's about it. But I figure there'll be a couple vendors popping on, and then when the train departs, it'll stop in other stations, and more vendors will jump on, and I can maybe grab something for dinner from the vendor, and then just kick back and enjoy this ride. 4:57, should be leaving any minute. Still no sign of anyone sitting near me, so I think at least for right now, until we start stopping at some other stations, I do think I'm gonna have this whole little section to myself, which is great because then before this turns into sleeper mode, I can keep my bag over there, have plenty of room right here, kick my feet up there if I want, and yeah, be plenty comfortable. Because as much as I've done quite a bit of budget travel, a lot of budget transport, you know, trains, buses, hitchhiking, all the above, the 14-hour train overnight without AC, without being able to lay down, it was pretty brutal. It was tough. I did not sleep at all. It was pretty much entirely full. There's a couple times throughout the night that you know, people got off and some space opened up and we could kind of lay down on the bench. But yeah, that's, you know, not always going to be the case. So I decided to splurge for this one and, you know, spend the $25, have a bed for the night. So here we are. coming through right now to check the tickets there, which I do have. I am a law-abiding citizen. Got my ticket right here. All right, just like that, the train has left. And turns out I'm kind of stupid. Apparently, I don't know how numbers work. That's the seat I was sitting in just a second ago, and then right before the ticket guy came through, I decided to look at my ticket to make sure I was in the right seat, and I was indeed not in the right seat, but now I am. This is my seat right here, number 38. I was sitting there, but that's okay. We're in the right seat now. So yeah, we all have departed, and at least for right now, I do have this whole section to myself. The closest person there's a lady up there, and then there's like a family further up that way, but this place is kind of a ghost town, which is weird because when we came to Chiang Mai from Bangkok, every single seat in this train was booked. It was fully reserved, and I looked, you had to reserve it like days in advance. If you wanted to get on the sleeper cabin, sleeper train, you had to book it like 3, 4, 5 days in advance. And this I just booked last night for today, and the thing is half empty. So it's kind of surprising, but yeah, this is great. It is a rainy, gloomy day out there. It was so wet in Chiang Mai today. It's very, very gray and dreary still, but that's kind of perfect. Great day to spend on the train. Just kick back and relax here. I will say it is so much quieter here than the cabin back there, because since that one has no air conditioning, got to keep all the windows down so you can hear the track and everything, and it's super noisy. This one is quite quiet, actually, very, very quiet in here, because you know, we can have all the windows closed since there is air conditioning, so that's great. I was worried that the audio on here was not going to work at all, that it was going to be way too noisy, but it seems like it's going to be just fine. So yeah, this is great. I'll do the set seat, please. Yes.
You sleep down?
I'm sleeping down here.
38.
Yes, 38. All right, looks like I just put in my dinner order. Food is not included on here, and it is kind of expensive. It's 190 baht for the dinner meal, but it did look like it comes with a decent amount of food. I got some teriyaki chicken, rice, egg, spring rolls, fruit, drink. So I figured, what the heck. I did, like I said, bring a couple snacks, and I think there will be some vendors that get on later, but I don't know, we might as well get the full train experience here. The one thing right off the bat here that you can kind of tell that some people complain about is the train is quite rocky. I've got you sitting on the windowsill, and you can see me rocking back and forth. So quite a few people, I've seen some reviews, they say the bed's not worth it because it's too rocky, they can't sleep at all. I'm curious to see what I think about that, because typically for me, as long as I can lay down, I can sleep. If I'm sitting upright, I'm out of luck, but if I can lay down, I can sleep. So on boats, on ferries, even if it's rocky, I can sleep just fine. Of course, a train, the rockiness is kind of more abrupt and sudden, so it's a little bit different than like the rock of a ferry, of a boat. So I'm curious to see how that is. You know, obviously I'll find out tonight. Lots of pretty views along the ride here. Only have daylight for about another hour. It's about 6 o'clock now, so we've been going about an hour. Sunset, I think, is at about 6:45, or maybe a little bit after. But yeah, it's a mix of, sometimes it's just this dense trees, dense jungle, and then it opens up a little bit and you can see beautiful green farmland and the mountains. I think the train that goes like during the day is pretty popular, the one that leaves early in the morning, and then you're riding all day long, because the views, I think, throughout the whole ride are just absolutely beautiful. You know, this one's kind of nice, the timing of this one, because it leaves, you know, left at 5 p.m. so there's enough time to enjoy some views for, you know, about 2 hours before sun goes down, have some dinner, get some sleep. Things are going well here. Just had a snack, enjoying the beautiful views, and just gonna keep hanging out here until my dinner will be served in 2 hours. I could have had it served at 7, but I figured 8 o'clock sounded good. Eat my dinner, and then, you know, see how this goes when they transition to sleeper mode. I'll be curious to see how that is. Actually, I don't know if they provide a blanket or a pillow or anything like that. You know, we'll find out later. Well, it is that time of the train ride where we gotta check out the bathroom, see how that's looking. Got herself a toilet paper, little sink situation, which, let's see, very powerful sink. So, yeah, that's the bathroom situation here on the train. We're stopped for a minute here at a station. I think they may be loading or unloading some stuff on the train, so I figured a good opportunity to come check out the bathroom situation. But yeah, pretty simple, but toilet paper, toilet, little sink, and a nice little mirror. So I guess just about all you could ask for on a train. So yeah, that's about it. One other thing that's pretty funny that I wanted to point out is if you look down the toilet, it just empties right down on the tracks. So you can see right where everything goes. So far I'm kind of lucky being on this end of the train because my side here is very empty. Like I said, I have my seat here, no one's here, no one's there, no one there, no one there, no one there. But down on that end, because I just used the restroom down there, it's actually pretty full down that way. So I guess I'm on the empty end. People prefer to be down on that side for some reason, which I actually feel like this side is much better because it's further from the bathroom. So down there you have more people walking back and forth to use the bathroom. It also could maybe get kind of stinky by the bathroom. So yeah, I feel like I kind of lucked out here. I got the empty end of the train as well as the side further from the bathroom. Another hour and a half until my dinner will be served. And then after I eat my dinner, I'll have my bunk switched over to sleeper mode. But yeah, still so far so good. Yeah, I don't have any complaints yet. And now that I walked down there and saw that that end of the car was kind of full, I am even more grateful that I have this nice empty end. Looks like I've got my dinner served here. Got a little dinner table pulled out here now. And this is what we're working with. I'm gonna crack in here and get a closer look. Looks like right here we've got some soup. Let's see here. Yep, looks like some nice little vegetable sort of miso soup maybe, something like that. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this lid off. Okay. So yeah, we've got pineapple, rice with fried egg, nice serving of teriyaki chicken, a couple spring rolls, and this is the soup, and a bottle of cold water. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. We'll dive in here and see how it is. No complaints with the food. The only thing, like I mentioned, it is kind of pricey, 190 baht. 150 baht, that would be a little bit better, but again, you're paying for the convenience, so it is what it is. I'm going to put the camera down and finish eating my food here, and then I'll check back in after my meal. Finished up my dinner. Now I'm having my bed switched over to sleeper mode. Let's see, 7:15 now, so still fairly early, but yeah, figured I might as well lay down and get comfortable. It obviously is very dark out, so yeah, this is great. Getting got the bed laid out there. There's a little bed cushion you can see. Getting a nice sheet on that. And then looks like the blanket pillow there. Yeah, I think this will be great. I think I will be able to sleep very well on here and have a good full stomach from a very good dinner. Alright, this is the final product here. Take a seat. Yeah, it's pretty simple. They just yeah, like drop those down so that it connects to one, and then little foam pad here for the mattress, clean sheet, nice blanket here, decent pillow. Let's see how it fit. It's a little bit short. I am about 5'10", 5'11", which I believe is like 178 centimeters or something like that. And if I lay here with my head, if I lay here with my feet flat on the bottom, I still have just, I don't know, a couple inches with my head here, so I might want to lay kind of at an angle here, but no, that's not bad at all. So if you're, you know, about average size or smaller, so my size or smaller, it seems it'll work out just great. Yeah, this is fantastic. All right, I've got the bed here in full sleeper mode. Got my curtain pulled, and I gotta say, the privacy is fantastic. The curtain totally covers end to end, so it blocks out all the light from out in the hallway. For the window here, there is a curtain if you would like to block out, you know, any light as we're going along the ride. We're actually stopped at a station right now, so there are some folks out there, which is why I just pulled the curtain here. You can hear some folks getting on right there, but no, this is great. I think I'll be able to sleep fantastic tonight. I'll throw in headphones, or not headphones, but throw in earplugs because, like I said, as you can hear outside, there are people getting on right now, and throughout the night, there will be some more stops and some more, you know, opportunities for people to get on. So earplugs would be great, but no, this is fantastic. As I mentioned, it's not super long. For me, it'll work out fine. But if you were much taller than me, it would be, you know, a little bit short, but that's no big deal. The width is great, and there's a nice, like, actual proper blanket, all wrapped up nice, nice and sealed, so you know it's clean, smells like fresh laundry. Yeah, this is fantastic. I'm gonna lay down here, watch a movie for a while. I'm sure I'll check in a little bit, but let me just give you a quick look here while I've got my flashlight. Yeah, so the curtain pulls pretty much right to the end there. I've got my small backpack here, blanket, bed, pillow, water, all good to go. So yeah, this is great. I'm gonna get back here and yeah, just get back here, watch a movie, and enjoy the rest of my evening. I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get some good sleep tonight, because that was not the case on the train to Chiang Mai from Bangkok, and yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But that's it for now. I will check in a little bit later. All right, it is about 10:30 now. I've been laying here watching a movie, and I think it's about time I try to get some sleep. Most of the train has filled up. Most of the beds are full now. People have jumped on at the stops along the way. We still have about, 8 hours, or a little bit less than 8 hours to go, so hopefully I can get some shut-eye sleep for maybe 6-7 hours, and then wake up and get ready to be in Bangkok. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Had a good dinner, been a good ride so far. It is, you know, quite rocky and bumpy, as I've mentioned, so we'll see how that is for sleep. I haven't minded it while I've been laying here, but we'll see if I'm actually able to fall asleep and get some good rest. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm gonna head to sleep. I will check in tomorrow morning. Alright, good morning from the train here. It's a little bit noisy this morning because they've got the back door open here because they're kind of cleaning things up, getting things ready for arrival. It is almost 6 a.m. now. We are just kind of on the outskirts of Bangkok. We'll be at the main terminal here in 15, maybe 20 minutes. They have gone through and switched the beds back, just sleeper or out of sleeper mode back to chair mode. So just back to normal seats here. As you can see, the train did fill up a bit more last night as it stopped along the way. More and more people got on, and I think it got to be pretty much full. Some people have gotten off now at different stops, but yeah, we will be at the main terminal here in 15-20 minutes. Once we get there, I'll give you a better, more thorough update of how the night went, how I slept, all of that. But yeah, we are almost there. The journey is almost complete. The sun is just starting to come up in the horizon, and then yeah, we'll be at the station here pretty soon. Alright, I am officially back here in Bangkok. I have sort of made it outside of the train, bus, central terminal situation. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this terminal. It took like 10 minutes to find an exit that was actually open that I could get out of the building from, and that's why I'm in this like weird back exit. I don't know, because I couldn't figure out how to get out of the building. But anyways, the train is good. I definitely can understand the complaints and the negative reviews that people have, where people say they just don't get any sleep on the train because it's too bumpy and jerky and they get jolted awake, because that is, you know, quite true. For me, it wasn't a huge problem. Honestly, the bigger problem was just that I've been on a terrible sleep schedule where I've been staying up too late. I've been staying up till like 2 in the morning, so I laid down to try to get some sleep at like 10:30, and I just wasn't tired because that's not the schedule my body has been on. So it took me quite a while to fall asleep. Ended up watching another movie, but when I did eventually fall asleep, I did get some good rest, and I thought the bed was very comfortable. Like I said, it is very bumpy and like a lot of sudden movements because it's, you know, it's an old train tracks, and that's to be expected. So if you're really sensitive to like motion sickness and that kind of thing, is, you know, probably not the best option for you. But then again, a bus isn't going to be the best option for you. Nothing's really going to be the best transit option for long haul journeys like that if you're sensitive to motion sickness. But for me, I'm not, you know, that's not something that bothers me at all, so I had no problem with it. That's about going to do it. That's going to wrap up this video, quick little, you know, sleeper train journey. Just depends on the person, I think, whether or not it's worth it. If you're going to be jolted awake all the time, probably not worth the extra money. But if you're not very sensitive to that, then sure, give it a try. I think it's worth it. Especially for me, the air conditioning was very much so worth it. That was probably the biggest thing that made me uncomfortable on the way up, was just being so hot and humid the whole time. So anyways, making my way to catch a bus now and then make my way to my hotel. But that's it for this one. I will check in later.